Hello, Akku here again. Welcome back to FTB Unleashed. Still on version 1.1.3. Just thought I'd mention that. I mentioned it for a few days. Couple of things to start with this episode. First up is my Twitch account and my Twitter account. Just in case you don't know what they are, what I'm going to do is I've set up a little bit of auto crafting in here to be able to make an advanced information panel. So let's have one of them. Boop. And I'm going to want a text card, so let's text. This is really, I said this was tedious last episode, it really isn't. The way they've changed this, that you can just encode things like that, it means that encoding stuff really isn't tedious at all. It's really nice and quick. So I've added them patterns into there, as you can see. So now I can just type in text. Whenever I need a text card, I can just craft one, like so. And then it'll pop up there, providing it's got things that it needs. I think I've got no paper in the system. Oh, it's crafting them, is it? I don't think I've told it that it can craft them. I think I've told it it can craft the insulated ones. I have, look. Okay, so I need it to tell the system that it can craft gold cable. Gold. Come on. Them guys. Encode. So I'll stick that in there. I'm going to put that as an IC2 thing, because I think that's what it is. And I'll move them along. There we go. So now should be able to craft them. And yeah, there's no paper in the system as far as I know. There is none. Okay, let's get some paper. Still got some stuff in chest. I've not given everywhere a home yet, so let's just stick some paper in there. That's going to go into this unformatted chest. There you go. As you can see, in the unformatted chest we've got one advanced information panel, one text card, nice and quick and easy, pretty cool. I'm quite impressed with it, to be honest. What I'm going to do is, where can I put this? Let's put it up there. So on this thing, first of all I'm going to make it nice and thin. Wonderful. Then I'm going to put the text card in, and details from here. I'm going to invert the power so it's always on. I'm going to change the colour to something funky. Let's have it orange, and orange with green writing. How's that look? Meh, it's kind of alright, I suppose. Then on the text card, what I'm going to put here is youtube.com/user/t. How have I done it? Is it TO3 cutter? I'll have to check that. And then twitter.com @Akku_the_builder, and then twitch.tv/Akku_the_builder. My YouTube name is kind of funny. It's I made my YouTube channel in 2009 just to like stuff and that, and at the time I was playing a game called Fallen Earth, and my character now is called Toe Cutter, which is a bad guy from the first Mad Max film, which they're remaking, but I don't think he's in the upgraded version. Well, that's not very good, is it? You can't really see that much at all, can you? So let's make a extender panel. Advanced panel extender, one of them. Stick that next to that. Does that make it any more readable? That's possibly right. I'm just going to check my YouTube channel, make sure I've given you the right name there. So I'll keep that in the world, and I'll occasionally look at it so that people say they've been missing my Twitch, my live streams. Right. Got my user. What do I do with that? Yep, okay, I've spelled it right, excellent. There we go, I'll leave that up on the wall there, so it's still not very readable, is it? What if it's a colour? That's not helping. I do like this cyan. I use it quite a bit. Well, anyway, there you go. That's pretty shit, if I'm being honest. But that's my Twitch when I live stream. It's just Echo_the Builder. My Twitter is exactly the same. If you want to follow me on Twitter, whenever I post a new video or whenever I live stream, and I'm trying to remember, I tweet the day before I live stream, so you know when it's going to come. And so that's my details. If you was curious, and of course most of you have come here from my YouTube, but if you was watching my live stream and wonder what my YouTube channel was, that's that. You can also just search Echo the Builder. So yeah, speaking of live streams, this video is going to go on Tuesday. After tomorrow's episode, Wednesday, there'll be a live stream. So 2 PM UK time, the usual Wednesday slot, I'll be doing a 3-hour live stream. I'm going to do an extra live stream this week as well. I'm going to do a Q&A. Tom Davies asked me to do a Q&A. On Friday evening, I think it's going to be UK time, probably 7 PM, 8 PM. I'm going to do a question and answer, so it might only last 2 minutes if there's only one question, I don't know. But if you've got any questions for me, jot them down, and if you get on that live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into written books and put them into the library. So anyone with any questions, just know that I'm going to do a live stream on Friday evening, 8 PM UK time. That'll be 7 PM GMT. Yeah, let's call it 8 PM. So yeah, 7 PM GMT, 8 PM UK time. If you want to convert your time to that, just type in Google GMT to whatever your time is, PDT or whatever. Oops, PDT, is that Pacific Daylight? Something like that. Type that in Google and it'll give you a nice little few websites that actually show you how to convert times really easy. Quite nice. Right, so other things that people have corrected me on. Frosty, I think it was Frosty, asked me why I was using a wooden pipe and an interface. I think it's because I didn't used to use an ender chest. I kind of use an ender chest now because of something I've not made yet that I might as well make now, and that'll be an ender pouch, which I have actually got an ender pouch, but what I'm talking about is I'm going to get that ender pouch, I'm going to shift click it onto my input chest there. So now that ender pouch is linked to that, and I'm going to go give it a name. I'm going to call it I normally call it sortie, but it's not really sorting stuff, but sortie, there we go. So now that's got a name, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that inside my normal ender pouch, which I normally call go bag, but I've got no levels at the minute. And if I'm out in the field and I've got loads of stuff in my inventory, pretty much like I have now, what I can do is, for example, grab all this shit out of here that I've gradually picked up over the last half an hour. I can go to sortie and I can just sling it all in there, and what sortie will do is it'll drag it all into the ME network and it'll go to its proper place. So there shouldn't be a place for a hopper, so let's see where the hopper goes. So that's the reason why I use an ender chest and not a tesseract for my input. That's not moving very quick, is it? Why is that? Basic import bus, because I've got a basic import bus on there. Okay, so for when I do that, I actually want advanced import bus. So let me mess around a little bit. This is as organised as always. White facade. Don't know why I do that, because I'm going to be breaking this anyway. So I've got just a basic import bus there. I think I've got a precision one made. I have. Wonderful. So I'm going to swap that basic. Because basic can only pull one item at a time. I'm going to swap that for precision and just switch that to move stacks. So what that'll do is anything that I throw into that see, it's gone already. Anything I throw into that pouch, bosh, it'll get sucked straight into the system. There we go, bosh, got it back. So that's a way of, there's that hopper that I mentioned, and most of the stuff is sorted. That hasn't got a home, so what I need to do with them, components, I guess these class as components. What I'm going to do with them is I'm going to add them to the components thing here using the preformatter. So slot that in there, shift click, shift click, shift click, format to update that, get them back out, put that back, and then anything that gets thrown in the system now, so I can throw things in through that now, bosh bosh bosh, they'll all disappear and they'll be in there, but they won't show in there because they'll be in the correct storage area. Oops, paperwork, because I've got to pull all the paper out first for that to work. Now Put it back in. Right, paper's gone from there, but if we look in the system, we have got paper. Wonderful. So that was the reason why I was using an ME interface, because previously I've used a Tesseract, and a Tesseract you need an interface to put things into the system, whereas a chest you can just use a bus. So now I've actually got a bus on the chest, and I've got a Tesseract. The Tesseract still needs to go into an interface, so I've got an interface there just because that's a different mod talking to each other. So if you put a bus on a Tesseract, it doesn't work properly. So now if I want to spawn with the skeletons in my with a skeleton farm, the items that go through there get put through the interface and into the system. So we should see coal going up if it's working correctly. There it is, coal's going up. Wonderful. So that's still working very well. I'm going to change this, by the way. I'm going to make it so that I've got a series of Tesseracts on the wall with level emitters, and each item will have its own thing in here. Well, I'm going to spread this out to more of them. Anyway, so let's cover that back up. So that's that bit sorted. What I'm going to do in this episode, like I said I was going to do, is expand now onto things. This looks a bit tight because it's going to get changed. I'm going to expand out onto things that need to go into auto crafting, but are a little bit different. So, for example, if I was to make processor assembly, if I could spell processor assembly, see there, they're making the basic one. You craft that item, but then to make that into a interesting. Shapeless crafting. What's all that about? Okay, that is interesting. Looks like you can make that using a redstone golden chipset, or you can smelt the basic one. That's actually a lot cheaper. One redstone, one gold, one silicon. No, in more fluix dust. Probably about the same. Okay, very strange. What you can do, you can smelt that. So for that, we need a recipe saying that this becomes that. If that makes sense. So basic processor assembly. What I need to actually do is get a basic processor for this, I believe. Basic processor, and I want one basic processor assembly, so I'll have to make one. I'm going to craft one of them, and I'm going to craft one of them. So they should come back in here pretty quick, providing it's got what it needs, and it should have what it needs. What's it not got? Got no silicon. That's another thing that we need it to tell it to do anyway. So let's start with that. A powered furnace. Put a bit of silicon in there. At the minute it's just going into this chest. What we want to do is we want to add this functionality. I've got loads there, look. Son of a bitch. Need to add this functionality to the network. So now it should have crafted them. So we've got one of them, yeah, and we've got one of them. That's what we want, and we also want to take that into that. So in our thing now, if we put a bit of Certus quartz dust in there, it doesn't turn that craft into anything. But we do know if we put a piece of Certus quartz dust into a powered furnace, it becomes silicon. So we need to tell it, in this case, we need to tell it what the result is. So we want to encode that. And the same for this. Basic assembly in a furnace is going to create a basic processor, so we need to tell it that. And then advanced processor. So I need one of my advanced processors. There's one. So same again. Advanced processor assembly. Advanced processor encode. So we've got them three things there. They all want to be put into a powered furnace to get back into the system. So we need a powered furnace linked to the system is what I'm getting at. I'm sorry if I'm doing it a little bit confusing way of doing it, but it's the best way I know to describe it. Let's just see what's in here. Just out of curiosity, what we've got. Anything good? Some steel, some sticks, some farmium, some apples. Quite nice. I like everything about that. That was in that. They can go in there. The steel for now is going to go in there, and later on I'll use my force rod to turn that into ingots. But for now that can go there. Let's just tidy up a second. So my facade's going to go in there. I'll be probably getting this back out in a minute, so it's a bit of a waste of time me putting them in here. For now you can go in there, just out the way, centrifuges and squeezers. And then apples want to be in there. Screw with that apple can go in there, so can that import bus. That can go there, that can go there. Wonderful. Kind of organised. Kind of. Not massively. So what we want to do is we want to take this, and it's going to lose a bit of power, but I could use my force. Wrench to keep the power, but it's only a little bit of power, so it don't really matter. So that's gone from there. Nothing in them. That's good. So now if we step upstairs, what we're going to need a basic import bus, so we can take that back actually, the one that I've got there. And we're going to want a precision export bus. No, we don't. No, we don't want a precision export bus at all. What we want is a ME interface. So I'll craft an ME interface. We'll have one of them. Thank you. Now if I come up here, I've kind of got this laid out a bit already. So there's our auto processing, which is working exactly as intended. I'm going to spread on to doing B processing stuff in a bit as well in this episode. I've run cable under there, conduit should I say, round, you can just see it behind there. I've run conduit all the way around to here. So this has got power, and they've got power, but nothing else is connected yet. But let's do this bit first. So what we want to do here, so our powered furnace is going to go there, yep. And what we're going to do is, underneath the powered furnace, I'm going to have this thing, ME interface. And what you can do, I don't think we need to, but what we can do is we could wrench that, to say that anything going into there wants to be going up and getting fed into this thing. So we want the bottom to be the input, and we're going to want this side to be the output. There we go. Bottom to be the input, this side to be the output. In fact, no, I was going to do it a different way. I was going to have it on the side there. So you see I've run bits of ME cable, but not the things that connect. So I'm actually going to have that on the side. There we go. That, in that case I do actually need the arrow to be the right way, because this ME interface wants to feed into that powered furnace. It doesn't want to feed into this pulverizer. That's kind of why I did that, just to show you the different functionality there. And what we want on the bottom is, I don't want to stand on that, what on the bottom is our basic import bus. So that'll take anything out of the powered furnace that gets put in there. So that wants to be orange, that wants to be blue. Wonderful. And then what we want to do in this thing is we want to put these patterns. These are crafting patterns. So now if we request a basic processor assembly, so let's look at processor again. We've got one basic assembly. If I request 2 more processors, it's going to use that one, it's going to need to make another one. And before we could request them, now we should actually be able to request. Why are you no work? Are we not connected? We're not connected. Let's get us connected. Tell you what then, to connect I need another basic input. Basic input bus. One of them please. And yes, I don't think I actually connected it to the rest of the network, did I? Because there's a gap under there. There we go, now it's connected. Now it should work. So if we look in the craftable, cool, so now it's connected, we can craft the basic assembly, but we can also directly craft the basic processor. So if we go back to stored and craftable, we see that we've got one assembly. So if we craft 2 basic processors, let's have 2 of them. So it's used up that first assembly, and it's going to make another one of them. And what it's going to do is it's going to send them things straight to the furnace up there, which is going to cook them into the actual completed item. So you need to do that for anything that actually needs processing to make it into a solid thing as well, if that makes sense. So some of the things we want to do then, and we're going to want another interface. So let's craft one of them. Thank you. And this time we're going to want things like obsidian. So I want 2 bits of obsidian. We need to pulverize one of these. Coal dust. We want 2 bits of coal. One we're going to pulverize. And that Certus quartz just can go back. That's 2 things that I can think of off the top of my head. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pulverize 1 piece of coal and 1 piece of obsidian. That'll give us coal dust, and it's going to give us obsidian dust back in the system downstairs. We're going to want another interface on here, and this also wants wrenching to feed into the right place, which is that way. Wonderful. This one's input, yep, and output, yep, that's good. So now we can grab that pulverized obsidian and coal dust out of there. Wonderful. Then in the patterns here now, so we want to say 1 coal becomes 1 coal dust. Encode. Thank you. And I'm going to say 1 obsidian becomes 1 pulverized obsidian. Encode. Thank you. And they can go back in there. And they go in here like that. So again, that's saying if I now request, well, it's getting to the point where I can almost request hardened glass. That's the next thing we're going to do. Hardened glass is the induction smelter, which I've not got space for, which is unfortunate. I think what I'm going to do with these, by the way, as well, is let me get my facades back out. Light grey force brick facades. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them facades off there, and I'll actually cover these up like so. Because interfaces you can actually cover with facades as well. Gives it all looking very nice and tidy, kind of built into the walls. How does that look? I might even put a little wooden like this shelf. I might put some covers across the top of there, like so it's like a workbench. This space is going to be for magma crucible and liquid transposer, and then I need a space also for induction smelter, don't I? Which I've not left room for yet. There's going to be room for it though. Right up into the corner. I can do that. I can do that. Right, so let's get the next one then done then, which is going to be the magma crucible and thing. I'm actually going to use a force wrench here because it's got a lot of power in that. I'm a bit tight. So let's pop these 2 things off. Liquid transposer, magma crucible. And then go back upstairs. Now this is a little bit different, because what we need to do here is, what I'm going to need, I'm going to need an interface and an export bus. No, not interface and an import bus. Let's get them. So you see auto crafting becomes nice and quick. Let me interface, thank you. And import bus. Basic should do. Yeah, basic will do. Right, what's going on here? Have we run out of something? Currently crafting. Run out of Fluix dust, possibly. Have I not done a recipe for Fluix dust? Next. Where's applied energetic stuff? I have not done a recipe for Fluix dust. That's interesting. So, Fluix is nether quartz, Certus quartz, redstone. Oops. Encode that. gets us that pattern, but we also need to be able to get nether quartz dust. So what we're going to need to do there is see if I've got any. I've got a little bit, but we're going to have to tell the system as well that it can pulverize nether quartz into nether quartz dust. So clear that. Nether quartz becomes nether quartz dust. Encode. So we want the first fluix dust basic crafting recipe goes into there, and we need the nether quartz into normal quartz into there. Sorry, the nether quartz into nether quartz dust into there. So there's a third thing we need the pulverizer for. That's all good. So is that now crafted? And it has. Wonderful. Right, and then patterns we're going to need for this. This is a little bit more complicated. What this is going to be is, right, I want redstone. And we're going to want ender pearls. And we're going to want to craft some items. So what we're going to want to craft here is conduit. So we'll craft a bit of conduit there. Thank you. And we're going to want frames. We're going to want machine energy cell frame. We'll craft one of them. And we're going to want a tesseract frame. We'll craft one of them. We're probably going to want illuminator frame if we make any more illuminators, but I don't know if I'm going to be making many of them, to be honest. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? So we're also going to want some glowstone. I think it's 4 glowstone. Let me just check. So illuminator, press U. See, illuminator frame needs 1,000 millibuckets of glowstone, and I believe one glowstone gets you 250 millibuckets. So I think that's right. Cool. So what we're going to do here, slightly different setup, is our ME interface is going to go there. I'm going to wrench it to tell it to send things into the diamond pipes, which is a bit weird, but bear with me. And then once it's into the diamond pipes, what we're going to have is liquid transposer, magma crucible. So the up in this wants to be things that go in the magma crucible. So that's basically redstone goes into there, ender pearls go into there, glowstone goes into there, and the green from that one wants to be them same things. So redstone, ender pearl, glowstone. And then the white's always up, by the way, on the diamond pipes, even though you can't see it. Let me put the magma crucible down, I'll show you. Boop. You see there, the up one is white, so that's why I've put those things in the wrong one. I put them in red. What have I done that for? Clear them, idiot. Try again. White, 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 not black, thank you. So then the white in this one is going to be energy conduits, energy cell frames. Oh, I've done the wrong one again. What's wrong with me? Black's down, if you was wondering. Tesseract frames, illuminator frames. They're all going to go into white, which means it's going to put them up into the liquid transposer. So what I want to do here is set the input for the magma crucible to be the bottom, and the output to be left into liquid transposer, which is good. And then we want 2 inputs. We want items from the bottom, liquid from the left for the liquid transposer. I've got 2 tesseracts there, wonderful. And output we want into the basic doohickey there, which will send them items into the system. Wonderful. So now all we need to do is make the recipes. So I'm going to cover the top. I'm not going to cover the bottom yet because I want to put things into that. Can I even click on that from here? don't think I can. No, I have to break that block, so I might as well cover that up. So what I want to put in this then is the recipes that turn these things into the post-magma crucible version of them. So for example, energy cell frame and 40 redstone. I need a filled frame, don't I? I have to make one first. Back in a sec. Okay, so I just threw that 40 redstone and that empty frame into the machines upstairs, and they gave me this frame back. Now what I can do is I can say that 40 redstone and an energy cell frame gives me an energy cell frame full. I can encode that. There we go. And in the same vein, I actually had 2 on a June Tesseract, which is nice. I can say that a Tesseract frame for ender pearls becomes an unattuned Tesseract. Thank you. And I believe I'm doing this right. I believe illuminator frame of 4 glowstone equals a glowstone illuminator. So we'll have that. And lastly, one energy conduit and 2 redstone. Is that right? Yes, it is. 1 energy conduit and 2 redstone equals 1 conduit. I believe that's correct. Fairly confident that's correct. Yeah, it's double, yeah, it is. So what we can do with these 4 patterns now is they go then into there. So conduit, energy cell, unattuned tesseracts, glowstone illuminator. So now we can autocraft them as well. So if I ever need a tesseract, now for this, just pretend that I don't have any of these items. Well, in fact, we can pretend by taking them out. So we haven't got any of them items in there. If I were to make a liquid tesseract, I can tell it to craft one of them, and it'll do all the intermediate parts. It'll craft a tesseract frame, it'll put a tesseract frame and the ender pearls into the system up there, it'll bring it all back. So I should end up, if all goes to plan, I should end up with a tesseract in here. Let's see, is that working up there? Is it working correctly? Nope. Something's gone wrong on it. What's gone wrong? Let's made the frame, put it in there. Put the items aren't going into there. The ender pearls, why not? Ender pearls, green, yeah, and then white. So they should have gone in. Well, that won't work correctly, has it? Maybe back in a sec, I'll try and work out what's gone wrong. Okay, well, I've sussed it. The diamond pipes was causing the issue there, so I've changed things around a little bit. So what I've done is I've created these things called item routers. They're from MFR, and redstone repeater, machine frame, chest, some plastic sheets, nice and straightforward. And what these do is you can't put things up the top of them, so you have to ignore the top. But the rest have got a colour coordinated side like the diamond pipes do. So if you look there, blue is north and red is west. If you look in the thing there, see it's got no white, so there's no top, but there is. So the top's input only. There is black. There is all the other colours. So black's down. Say blue north, red west. So what I've done is I've moved this around a little bit. I've put some of them guys behind there, and I've used them to do the routing of the items. And I've put reject unmapped, so that means nothing else can come into here. So the only things that can come into this thing are that. which, I think that's the way I want to set that. So I've exactly the same. So blue, north. You can see there, blue, north. So the input of these now is in the back rather than the bottom. I've moved the power around the back there, around the bottom I mean. And then that one has the redstone, ender pearl and the glowstone dust getting put into the back of that, and that now works. So if we was to make another liquid tesseract, let me down please, thank you. So you see there, I've still got them frames out of the way, them untuned tesseracts, I don't want to use them. I want to force it to use this this tesseract frame here. So tess and liquid tesseract, because we're going to need some of these anyway. Oops. So it's to craft one of them, craft, begin. So now you'll see upstairs, you'll see that this is lit up because it's been sent the 4 ender pearls that was needed for the recipe, and now they've been put into there, and that's working. Turning that tesseract frame into a untuned tesseract, and then once it's down there, it will also make the other components for a tesseract, which I believe are a pneumatic servo and then some ingots. So I'll make that, and we'll end up with a liquid tesseract in here, and there's untuned, and then there it is, did the final craft part. So that's crafting us liquid tesseract. Wonderful. So that's working. That's that bit done, and then the only thing we need to do now then is the induction smelter. I'm going to fit this in. I'm not sure. Let's have a quick think about that. So what we're going to want to do then, first of all, is it's going to want power. So it needs. A bit awkward with the elevator being here. So it's a little bit inconvenient with the wire in there. So induction smelter is going to go there. Yeah, this is awkward. This is awkward. Making things more complicated than it need to be. They should have been at the end over here. Okay, I'm going to switch it around back in a bit. Okay, back then, I decided to move them down there. I made one extra one, so let me know if that's getting on your nerves. But whenever I'm working in my system here, people used to see my Twitch and my Twitter.com. That's maybe a bit excessive. Let me know. I'll take it down if it's a bit irritating. But what we can do now is, I've got a little idea here. I just want to try something out. I was going to got some clay from the farm. What I want to do is make a block of clay. I'll see how this looks. Might look shit. We'll see. Clay covers. And let's jump back upstairs. So I've done it slightly different up here. I decided not to make it there. I've decided to put it over here instead. The induction smelter. So we need to make an interface and stuff for that. I've got an interface, wonderful, and an import bus. Already done that, I must have forgot. So import bus wants to go on the bottom. So put the import bus there. Basic import bus will do for this. So our output wants to be from the bottom, like so, and our input wants to be from this side. Now the thing with an induction smelter, you can have two inputs. If you look there, you've got green or purple or blue. We want both things coming from this side. That's all good for us, and that's going to be the ME interface there. And we are of course going to cover that up, like so. And we want a grey block there. Got any grey blocks left? Not on me. Okay, I have to get another grey block from downstairs. So I've purposely not covered the top of that for the reason that I am going to. Oops. So that wants to be arrowed that way. And the things that we're going to cook in the induction smelter are things like hardened glass and electrum. So let's do the patterns for those. So electrum ingot is, as you can see, induction smelter, gold and silver. So gold, silver, and then we're going to want our pulverized obsidian that we made in the other thing, in the pulverizer up there, and some lead. I think it's 2 to 1 of them. So these are our next two patterns we're going to want. We want 1 gold, 1 silver equals, of course we need the actual item itself. So I want a bit of hardened glass. I want a bit of electrum. You electrum, you are. Cool. So gold, silver equals, I believe, 2 electrum. So I'm going to click that on there twice. Encode, wonderful. And then 2 pulverized obsidian, 1 lead ingot, I believe, gets me 2 hardened glass. I'm just going to have to double check that. Encode. So that's our next 2 things we're going to put in the induction filter there. Let's just check hardened glass. Yeah, 2 pulverized obsidian, 1 lead equals 2 hardened glass. So that's correct. So they can go up there as well now. And they can go in the interface here. Bosh bosh. So now we can also request them through the system. And because these are using things like redstone energy cells use electrum ingots, so if you make a redstone energy cell now, it'll do all the frame part, it'll make electrum if it needs it, it'll pulverize the obsidian if it needs it. I've even got a recipe in here to actually make obsidian using the oak wood and the minium stone. So it'll make pulverized obsidian, it'll also make obsidian if it needs it. So everything, you've got to backtrack everything. That's the key to doing this right. It's do it so everything's got a path. Everything's got a crafting path, right back to the basic stuff. So all that can go back in there, and now I just want to see how this looks. So let's make a bit of electrum, make sure it works anyway. We've got 55, let's have another 8. Craftable, craft. 8, begin. And that should be processing up there, so let's go have a look if it's working. There's 2 more things I want to do here. That looks like it worked. Just saw the remnants in there. So right, there's 2 more things I want to do. One thing is, let's tick off some of these facades. And as I said, that's a block. Okay, that's why I'm missing a block from there, because I used it there. So I might as well save these facades because I'm going to cover these up with clay. I'm going to have it the wet top. I might change the surface though if I don't like the way the clay looks. But it's like I say, it's not only about making it, it's about making it look cool. How's that look? Look like a granite wet top? Brick fool. So I want to cover all the tops. That. How's that look? Yeah, I like that. I think clay looks alright for that. So I'm going to do that around all the edge of this shit. Keep it looking tidy. Right, I've got 2 more things I want to do before I finish the episode. The episode's maybe getting long, so I'm starting to have to rush things. One thing is the level limited cobble and smooth stone. Now if we go over the limit, so if we look in there, if we dump that stuff in there, then we've gone over the limit of our 1828, got 8277, 8165. The problem is with that is things will start going into there now. So there's 149 in there. If we take some out of there, it's actually took them out there. That's cool because of the way I've done it. But what I'm going to do is, I don't want extra stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it so that anything over the extra gets automatically trashed. So for that, we're going to set up a little trash system. And for that, what we want is storage bus. And I've not made any storage bus yet. No, cool. Do I want it fuzzy? Let me think. I'm not going to do it fuzzy for now. I can always change it to fuzzy later. I'm going to make a normal one. I want a fuzzy one as well, so I'm going to make a fuzzy as well. I think it maybe just used the normal one to make the fuzzy, didn't it? Begin. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pick up my trash can. I'm going to go in this corner with it and I'm going to break that bit of ME cable. That ME cable is going to become a storage bus. Like so, so that's getting everything back up again. Now the trash can's going to go on top of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is set on the lowest priority. So this is set to 1, which is good. Everything else should be set higher. So 2. I'm going to have that set to 3 actually. And what else have I got? That thing. That wants to be set to 2 as well. No. Yeah, 2. How's this going to work? I think that's correct. I hope I don't bin everything here that I don't want. So what should happen here is if I take a bit of cobble and I add cobble to that storage bus, now if I'm under 8128, it'll make cobble and put it into the, for 828 or less, 8128 or less, the thing up there will make cobble and I'll put it into this. If I put more in, there we go, so look at that, I'm putting more in, it's just vanishing. So anything over that 8128 does no longer go in there because it's set to go in there. So what I'm doing basically is excess control. So what I want these items to do that I limit to one storage cell, I want to actually limit them to the storage cell. So stone's going to go in there as well. So as long as I've got 8,128 stone or less, it'll all go into the storage cell there. So let me take out a bit extra. So I've got less than 8128 in there. If I put all this back in, it'll go up to 8128 and all the excess gets automatically trashed. Also trash. That's kind of cool. That's going to spread as we get more of these filled up automatically. Dirt, sand, glass. Well, dirt and sand definitely. Gravel. Stuff like that. It'll fill a cell, and anything excess than a cell will just get binned. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you. The other thing is what I wanted this storage bus for. And what I want for this is honeycombs in a minute, but we haven't got them yet. So so now it's time to wire this thing up, and I should have got the bits from down there while I was there. Foolish. Also, I actually want to use them 2 liquid tesseracts. I made them for a reason. Right, what do I want from here? I want bandwidth upgrade. I don't want auto ejector. I can get rid of that. Thoroughness. I don't want that. I want that ender chest as well. So that's everything I need at the minute for this. So the next thing is I want to start processing our honeycombs from the bees. I was unsure whether this should be in a bee episode or a normal episode, but I decided to put it in the normal one. What we're going to want here is... Did I want a storage bus? Oh, I didn't even want a storage bus. That's not what I wanted at all. I wanted a fuzzy export bus. Storage bus can go back in there. I found a use for that. Export. Now the reason I'm doing fuzzies on purpose here, fuzzy export bus, one of them please. This is like the extended version of the, if you look at the book, if you look at the recipes bus, your basic is like so, then your precision adds a gold processor to it, and then your fuzzy adds a diamond to it instead. So this is kind of a little bit more advanced than a precision, you could say. And what we're going to do here is that precision, that fuzzy export bus is going to go on the bottom of that router. We want a basic input. We want a normal bus on there as well. Actually, I haven't made. Keep doing everything wrong now because I'm rushing. I want to finish the episode before it gets too long. Insert into slot 0, I'm going to have that. And this to connect this to there. And then what I'm going to do here, bear with me just one sec, and when we make a import, I need a precision import bus because this will be moving things pretty quick, I think. Thank you. And I need some more ME cable, which I should have some more in here. I have. Wonderful. Now this is a kind of new feature I'm showing here that you may be aware of if you watch Direwolf Spotlight on this, but you may not be aware of as well. I'm also going to want a bus on that squeezer, because the squeezer produces propolis as an extra that I need to get into the system. So I want another bus. I'm going to want a basic import bus there. So precision import bus wants to be there, and that guy wants to move stacks. Move stacks, thank you. And this wants to extract from, I think it's bottom sides of what it's connected to, which will be that. So that's all good, I think. I can cover that all up now as well. Thank you. So that's all wired up. Right, so it's the other part we need to do now. So quickly go across to the B place. Now I have to change things around a little bit here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it so that B's go into this. Sorry, not B's. I'm going to send it so that I'll change it around so that all my honeycombs go into that ender chest. But I don't want bees to go in there because I'm still breeding bees over here. So I'm going to actually separate this out before it gets to the end chest here. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to want all this bee products to go into my A network. So I'm going to put that. I've not put a diamond on there. Son of a bitch. Back in a sec. Okay, then try that again. My other sortie ender chest has got a diamond on, so this one needs one as well. So just click on the clasped out with diamond, makes it a private Echo the Builder ender chest. That's why I do that. What I'm going to do is all the combs I'm going to put in there, and I'm probably going to show on a B episode how I sort this out. I'll be moving to Alvarez pretty soon, so I don't actually need to set it up. It's not that important I set it up just yet for the just for these apiaries, because we're moving to Alvarez soon. So all B products that of course have got their own place in the ME network at the other end, I'm going to go in there, and yeah, when I sort this out I'll be filtering extra bees off to a separate place, these excess drones. For now there we're going to go there, which is good. So then back over here, what I'm going to want is all these honeycombs will be stored in there because I've got nowhere else to go. What I need is just one honeycomb, one basic honeycomb. See, the honeycombs and drifting combs have got the same pattern, but they've got the semicolon after them on the ID. But that's going to work in our favour because these things use the OR dictionary honeycombs. What we can do in our fuzzy bus, and just before we do that, we want to upgrade these routers. We want bandwidth on both, bandwidth, and we want thoroughness on the input one. Thank you. What I can do then is, in the fuzzy export bus here, we put honeycombs in and move stacks. It should start dragging all the honeycombs in from there. She has, but look at that. It's also dragging in stringy combs. Because this is a fuzzy bus, just all I need to do is put in one honeycomb in there, and it'll pull any honeycombs that enter the system in, which is really awesome. Because as our bee production spreads, we're going to get loads of different honeycombs. I mean, look at all the different types of combs you've got. You've got all these. So there's probably more than that, to be honest. Once you get magic in, that's maybe not showing. But instead of having to have different buses for each of these as we get them, because that's a fuzzy bus, that'll get all these. If you click on that, I'm sure if you keep clicking on these, you get to the OR dictionary showing that they're the same. So that's for the OR dictionary, they're all considered, any honeycombs considered the same thing, even though it's slightly different, which is kind of awesome. So yeah, that lets us process our honey like that, and you see the bits that are coming out should be going into there. Extract from bottom side, there we go. So honey drops, propolis, all going out of there. Wonderful, exactly what we wanted to see. So there, that once it's got rid of a stack of them, we should see it start pulling in the next ones along the line, which are the dripping combs. So there we go. We've just one bus, we've sorted out everything that wants to go in there. The oars and stuff are slightly different, they don't do it properly otherwise, so that's why we still need multiple buses on them. I have checked it in creative. They seem to, even though they're the same part number, they're all classed as different because they're different material. Yeah, so I still actually need separate buses on these, but as far as that goes, one bus will do me there. Cool. And then, just to finish off this episode, let's liquid tesseract. Wash a liquid tesseract there. Send only. This is going to be. I'm going to start with number 10 here. 10, and I'm going to call it honey because it's going to be honey. Now I'm thinking of changing all my tesseract, all my turn that off. I'm thinking of changing all my ender tanks to tesseracts now that I've got plenty of ender pearls. What do we need here? We need. That's not good. That's actually not good. I'll tell you what, I'll do that next episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting it to send all the honey that this is making. All these honey drops, I'm going to get liquidars through the squeezer, make us liquid honey, that's going to send to the tank over there. So we've got a honey tank, so we need that to make alveolates, we need liquid honey. Right, so I'm going to wrap up the episode there then. As always, I hope it was entertaining and a little bit educational. I still don't know if I like this. I kind of fancy the Bissell stone, but you can't make it to covers, but I could change it in the config, I think. Well, I'll see. I may have some nice mahogany tops, I don't know. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers. Bye.